Can play a part in dismantling them. Here to weigh in is our legal expert, Jay Davis. Jay, first off, let's start with something simple. Is there a legal definition of a gang, and if so, what is it?
There is. It actually only takes 3 or more people who group together, associate together. Sometimes they can have markings like tattoos or something like that, or sometimes it's just a common interest that has illegal aspects. And there's certain illegal activities that are included, like racketeering, stalking, escape from jail, those types of things. Oddly enough, one that's not particularly listed is drugs, and that's what I see as the most common gang-related activity.
In our area?
That's right.
Okay, well, we talked to the district attorney a couple weeks back. He said one of his goals is to be in cracking down on gangs, and also mentioned that there's several dozens in our area. So what types of tools does the court system have to maybe help curb the gang violence or gangs in general in our area?
Well, the court system really has to take what's brought in. They can work with the law enforcement to go out and say, hey, we really want to target these areas. They seem to be high in gang-related activity. This is the type of activity we're particularly looking for. But gang-related activity can be defined in a lot of different aspects, and people who are totally unrelated with any street gangs that we think of could still be incorporated up under the act.
So it's difficult to actually define gang-related activity within the court system?
Well, it's defined. Like I say, it's 3 or more in those types of enterprises. If 3 people just happen to get together in a sexual assault, for example, that becomes a gang-related activity according to the legal definition of it in Georgia.
So it just doesn't have to be, you know, some of the examples, Blood, Crips, things like that.
That's
it can be just gang activity in general by the law definition.
That's right. The legal definition doesn't incorporate having a nationally known or locally known gang affiliation thing. It just requires a grouping of people.
Now, I just mentioned this a couple minutes ago. We reported last week that there are several dozen gangs in Macon. Do you think that the court system is more effective on its own, or do you think that law enforcement is more effective in cracking down on these gangs?
Well, there's no way that either can do it without the other. And so law enforcement has to be targeting certain areas, has to be looking for certain things. The DA's office or the law enforcement general solicitor's office as well can work together with the law enforcement to say these are things that we would like to do, and they can combine forces that way. But one of the best things that they're going to be able to do, anybody's going to be able to do, is really on a national level. Because what I've seen with crime things is what we do as a government to keep, you know, having people who are paid in projects in low housing areas, and they're still distributing drugs that they get through legal means, and then they're distributed in an illegal manner. That's the biggest activity that I see, and that's really a national issue.
All right, Jay, always interesting to hear your opinion. Thank you very much. And remember, you can catch Jay and his legal experts every weekend, Saturdays at 3 p.m. on My 41.2 and Sundays at 6 right here on 41 NBC. And if you've got a legal question for Jay, send me an email to aminelli@41nbc.com, and Jay and I will talk about it right here on the news at 6. We'll be right back with the last look at the forecast. Stay with us.